in your opinion, I mean, this is a game that's basically a toss-up. I mean, you look at the point spread, you look at the way these teams played earlier this year, even with the Vikings having a 13-4 record compared to the Giants at 9-7-1. This is a pretty close matchup. The two teams that maybe overachieved to a degree of magnitude this season. If you are the Vikings, I'm going to put you on the spot here at the end. What's one thing that you should feel really good about coming into this game, and one thing that you should be really concerned about coming into this game?
I think the thing that you feel really good about is going to be, just what you are able to do if you can get Justin Jefferson down the field. I think this is a secondary that will play him differently than it did last time. I think they'll be more aggressive with him, probably try to put a safety over the top. They'll probably have Adoree Jackson back, though they certainly will have Xavier McKinney back in the secondary. But I think Jefferson knows how he's going to be played. I think the Vikings have cooked up quite a few things to deal with that, to try to get him open, to get him free releases at the line. I'd expect he's going to have a big day. I think he is looking forward to the stage, looking forward to getting a chance to show what he can do in the playoffs. This is a guy that played in a lot of big games in college, played in a national championship game, won a national championship. I think he's going to have a big day. I think they have a great chance to win if he does that. The thing I think they should be worried about is how they handle that Giants front. I think that is a really tough assignment, even when this is a group, when it's an offensive line that's at full strength, and it's certainly not with Brian O'Neill not playing. I think missing him is a big concern when you have to deal with the guys that the Giants have up front, whether it's Williams, whether it's Kayvon Thibodeau, whether it's Azeez Ojulari, whether it's Dexter Lawrence. I mean, they bring a lot of different things at you, and it will test them on the right side of the line. It'll test them at center, where they have new starters. So I think that really is the key to this game. The Vikings have to figure out how to keep the battle at the line of scrimmage at least at a stalemate, or maybe somewhat in their favor to win this one. I think if they do that, if they can handle that Giants front, I think they will win the game. But that is a big if, given the state of this offensive line and given what the Giants have to bring to the table in the ways that they can both try to slow down the running game and in the ways that they probably more importantly can pressure Kirk Cousins and try to throw off his timing with his receivers.
The thing I'm having a hard time reconciling, and maybe this is a good final thought, is 11-0 in one-score games this season. That's got to give them a lot of confidence in one regard, because they've been in a lot of these situations. They've survived. They've gotten through. And, when you go 11-0, there's some element of luck, but there's also, you can't deny that there's some element of whatever it is that makes them play well in these situations that is more than just good fortune. The flip side of that is, all it takes is one of these games to not go your way, for one or two plays at the end to not go your way. And at this time of year, that means your season's over. How do you kind of reconcile the kind of amazing run they've been on in these one-score games with the idea that, that's not infallible? That's not always something that you want to hang your hat on.
Yeah, I mean, I think the NFL in this day and age, there's more close games, more fourth quarter comebacks than ever. So this idea that, oh my gosh, they're winning a lot of close games is not quite as, much of an anathema as it may have seemed at different times. It's not something that is necessarily as much of a sign of weakness, I think, as it's been portrayed as being. I think certainly you'd like to see them win some games more decisively. They've had chances to do that this year and haven't taken advantage of those, whether it's, Chicago early in the year getting way ahead. I think the Saints game in London, they had chances to do that. And they've had chances to, they've had opportunities, I guess, to come back from being way down because they put themselves in those spots. Buffalo, certainly Indianapolis, it's been a lot of those moments as well. And they have not played, I think, a consistent 4 quarters. So that part of it is certainly an issue. But this also is a league, and I think the NFC is a lot of teams that are fairly evenly matched this year. So if the games are going to be close, you might as well be able to win them. And I think the fact that they have done it as many times as they have, they're not going to be scared in those spots. Their 2-minute offense has been awfully good. It's been awfully efficient. And they've come up with a lot of their best moments on defense at the ends of games. This has been a defense that's given up a lot of yards and a lot of points. But in the end, when they've needed to make a play, quite often they've come up with the turnover they've had to have. And I think they feel like that stage is not going to be a surprise for them. So if anything, they talk a lot about being battle tested. And I think that element of things as you go into the playoffs certainly is not a bad thing to have in your back pocket.
No, I would agree with that, and we will see how that plays out on Sunday. You'll be there. I'll be there. The rest of the Star Tribune will be there. It
Yep.
seems like a lot of us, all hands on deck for the playoffs. Looking forward to it. Should be fun. Ben, appreciate it as always, and we'll see you
It's good
soon.
to have playoff football back in town. Thanks, Mike. Should be a fun weekend.
Yes, it is, baby.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.